Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Firefighting crews are on high alert tonight as the blaze burns out of control north of Launceston. The fire at Winkley did rise to emergency level but was then downgraded later this afternoon. Our reporter Garth Burley is on the scene and joins us now live. Good evening, Garth. What is the situation at the moment?
Well, Joe, the blaze was downgraded late this afternoon to watch and act level, but TFS crews say it's still a developing situation. It's been burning in dense bushland behind me, and most of the firefighting efforts have actually been done from the air because crews say it's too dangerous on the front line. Another issue has been raining embers, which created a small grass fire not far from here. It's been a tough day, scorching conditions, and it's made it very tough for fire crews. Here's how the day unfolded. By mid-afternoon, the Winkley area had descended into chaos, a fire taking hold of dense bushland on Rookery Road and spiralling out of control.
The fire is escalating rapidly. At this stage, crews are sort of skirting around the outside of the fire, waiting for it to come out of the plantation.
In a short space of time, the blaze was upgraded to emergency level. Locals scrambling to save livestock, with crews going door to door warning locals at severe risk.
Many of them were rural type farm properties. There was up to nearly 10 properties under risk at any one time, and our crews have actively engaged in protecting those properties.
Helicopters filling up to continue the assault from the air, with smoke blanketing the nearby area, making it difficult to breathe for one asthma sufferer.
A bit hard in the chest at the moment with the smoke, but going over there getting the gear out and then all the smoke and those sirens going, it's a bit of a worry.
Firefighters are investigating the cause. After a day of extreme heat, they're banking on rain tonight to get the upper hand.
Tomorrow we're seeing an ease in conditions, be a lot more humid, which will certainly quieten the fire down. And we are expecting some rainfall, and we'll be keeping a close eye on that.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
We have some breaking news now on a medical incident related to the coronavirus at Hobart Airport tonight. A man who travelled from China has fallen ill on a Jetstar flight from Melbourne. Our reporter Michelle Wisby is at the airport and joins us now live. Michelle, good evening. What precautions are authorities taking tonight?
Joe, passengers have only just been allowed to disembark the plane. That's despite landing more than 3 hours ago now. Now, public health authorities did keep the plane in lockdown so they could control the situation. They say the male passenger who had recently travelled to China fell unwell during the Jetstar flight. He's going to be tested for coronavirus, but authorities say it isn't strongly suspected. He hadn't travelled to Wuhan, the epicentre of the outbreak. Now, other passengers have been given a letter saying they're free to travel about Tasmania, but their contact details have been recorded. Public health authorities have apologised to passengers, but they say, Joe, in this situation, they have to take precautions.
Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global health emergency. 9 cases have now been confirmed in Australia.
Facing the nation with more bad news.
As of this morning, there are 9 cases of coronavirus that have been confirmed in Australia, 2 in Queensland, 3 in Victoria and 4 in New South Wales.
All 9 patients are now in a stable condition. Globally, there have been more than 7,800 confirmed cases, with 170 deaths. Those figures are expected to rise. One Premier has blasted the Commonwealth's handling of the issue.
I'm frustrated at the lack of information that we are receiving from the federal government. If I was in Scott Morrison's shoes, I would be calling the Cabinet immediately today in Canberra and working on a national response.
Peter Gutwin says Tasmania is being kept in the loop.
Look, I don't share that frustration. I was briefed again this morning by our Director of Public Health, who is in regular contact with the Chief Medical Officer.
The Transport Union is calling for flights from China to be suspended, a plan that won't work according to the Chief Medical Officer.
Unless you lock down exit from the country, banning flights, direct flights, doesn't stop people coming from China. They could come from all sorts of other ports.
China is stopping its citizens from travelling abroad.
It seems likely that China is increasingly blocking export of its residents, so they are reducing tour groups coming out of China.
And that will have an economic impact.
There are anecdotal and reports coming through of particularly tour group bookings since that are starting to cancel or suspend their travel. But we are talking about relatively small numbers at this stage.
A problem for another day, while the world tries to tackle the outbreak. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
An Oatlands farmer has become the first person to die of a snake bite in Tasmania in 43 years. 79-year-old Winston Fish was bitten at least 5 times before he was rushed to hospital, but he never made it home.
A tight-knit farming family grasping tragic reality. On an Oatlands property, Brian Fish remembering his brother, 79-year-old Winston Fish.
Happy, full of life, a sheep farmer.
Winston, the first person to die in Tasmania from a snake bite in 43 years.
How it happened, I don't know. Whether he did tread on him or fall on him, we don't know.
On Tuesday, Winston, known by loved ones as Bill, was laid back from mustering sheep. Later found on the ground with a snake still wrapped around his arm with multiple bites to his legs and arms.
The bite in Bill's case was a big snake, almost 5 foot, and as big round as your elbow and would have had a lot of venom.
Locals did what they could before Bill was flown to the Royal Hobart Hospital, but he couldn't be saved and died yesterday.
Got on with everybody, didn't matter how old you was, young or whatever, he was there.
Brian and reptile experts are urging calm, with this tragedy a rare one.
Tasmanian tiger snakes are a pretty laid-back snake. They're a snake that if you antagonise them or obviously try and hurt them or whatever, they'll definitely flare up and make themselves known.
The last death in Tasmania from a snake bite was in 1977. A man at the Brighton show, a man who happened to be Brian's mate.
If you're bitten by a tiger snake, time's everything. So, you know, a normal bite from a tiger snake, you'd pretty much want to have your bandages on within the minute.
I'm not a snake lover, I'm not a snake hater, it's just what happened.
Incredibly, Bill had survived meningococcal and cancer.
You hope that you're cured, and Bill in his mind thought that, yeah, he's on the road to that, and then, something like this comes along.
Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
We have an update on our breaking news story from last night. A police officer injured after being hit by a motorcycle is recovering well. 2 people were arrested at the Clarendon Vale scene after the allegedly stolen vehicle collided with the on-duty officer.
Emergency workers rallying around one of their own. A police officer down with injuries, treated by paramedics and taken to hospital. Around 5:30 yesterday evening, he'd been on foot at Clarendon Vale, part of the search for an allegedly stolen motorcycle.
We made efforts to locate that vehicle, and in doing so an officer took up a position here on this street to intercept that motorcycle.
The officer waiting for the bike with its rider and passenger on Goodwin's Road, but he was hit. The vehicle allegedly colliding with him at around 60 kilometres an hour.
Witnesses have described the officer going into the air after being struck. The 2 offenders have been arrested after a foot chase located approximately 800 metres from this location.
Those witnesses left shocked, rushing to the officer's aid as they waited for help.
He was obviously limping and I could see blood on his head. I wasn't thinking of anything except what I could do to help the policeman.
We're pleased with the response from the public in respect to the information that they provided, and certainly the assistance they provided to the officer when he was injured in this incident.
I tried to have a few words with the policeman while he was injured and sitting on the floor. He looked shaken.
Today, the officer remains in hospital.
A police officer being hit at high speed by a motorcycle is really serious, and it could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, his injuries don't appear to be that serious, no broken bones.
A 22-year-old Bridgewater man has been charged with driving offences and aggravated assault. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
Two violent offenders remain on the run after holding an innocent man at gunpoint during a terrifying armed robbery in Lauderdale overnight. The attack happened at the Foreshore Tavern in the early hours of this morning and has left staff members shocked and distressed.
This is the chilling moment. Two men armed with a gun changed the life of an innocent man forever.
Very, very frightening, very, very scary.
This CCTV, captured this morning at a popular Lauderdale hotel, shows a worker's wrists tied together as masked offenders rummage. The victim lives on site at the Foreshore Tavern. They'd crept into his apartment around 2 a.m, waking him up to a terrifying targeted nightmare.
He was awoken by the offenders who threatened him with the firearm and forced him to open the safe.
His hands bound with the threat of a long-armed firearm. The bandits wearing gloves hold the innocent man, calmly packing their loot before fleeing.
The two offenders have tied the staff member up before leaving the scene with the amount of cash stolen.
The terrifying incident leaving the victim and fellow staff members extremely distressed.
I can only imagine what emotions that person's gone through.
Those men still loose and on the run somewhere in our community. One described as wearing a blue hoodie, black cap, black track pants and with a slim build. The other wearing a black jumper, dark trousers with a slim medium build. Police are asking anyone who may have witnessed any suspicious activity in this area this morning to contact them or Crime Stoppers.
I'd also like to say that anyone who assists these people knowing that the crime they've committed can be themselves charged with an offence.
Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
Premier Peter Gutwein says he's appalled after shocking vision emerged of a pub fight in Ulverston, and a warning this story contains confronting violence. The fight at the Lighthouse Hotel took place on January 17. The melee involved around a dozen people and appeared to show one person being knocked unconscious.
Look, I have seen that video and I'm appalled. Obviously, the police are investigating, and I hope that they can catch up with those who were involved, because it was an appalling situation.
Police are yet to make any arrests over the incident. After years of waiting, a date has been set for Susan Neal Frasers' fight to overturn her murder conviction. The Hobart Supreme Court today heard a 10-day hearing has been scheduled for May 25. It's the 65-year-old's first appeal attempt under new laws after she was convicted of killing her partner Bob Chappell in 2009.
I think that's something for everybody to look forward to and for Sue to hope for, but it's just a very long haul.
The court heard it will receive evidence focusing on key witness Megan Bass. Welcome back. An alleged firebug suspected of starting a blaze which burned through thousands of hectares of Tasmanian land has today fronted court. Robert Mathewson is facing 2 separate charges relating to a bushfire in Fingal, which roared out of control at the end of last year. He today pleaded not guilty to both counts and has been remanded in custody to face the Supreme Court in April. An archaeological dig near Kempton has revealed a long-lost part of Tasmania's convict heritage. Students have uncovered solitary confinement cells used as part of the Picton Road station, a base camp for those working on building the main road through the Midlands.
An archaeological dig site is a unique place to spend your summer holiday, especially in today's hot weather. For Henry, it's an opportunity of a lifetime.
So much fun. I mean, it could be colder, that would be much more fun. But it has been an absolute pleasure to be here.
Taking part in the University of Tasmania's Convict Archaeology Field School, alongside 19 students from UTAS and across the country. They've spent the past 2 weeks in a field near Kempton, working to uncover solitary confinement cells at Picton Road Station, used as a convict base in the 1800s.
This is an 1841 convict station that accommodated the fellows who built the road from Launceston all the way up to Hobart. So it is the original backbone of the Van Diemen's Land colony.
The diggers uncovered some significant finds, including areas not included on the initial map and buttons from convict uniforms. Working alongside career archaeologists, it's giving the students practical experience in the field, helping uncover part of the area's unique history.
I had to do 2 full pages of paperwork to get a little bit of glass out of the ground. That took a while, but it's all worth it. It's all worth finding it. It's all worth being here.
You don't often get opportunities to come out into the field and sort of dig up all this historically relevant material, provide new knowledge to the public. So it's a golden opportunity. It's been fantastic.
Items from the excavation are available for public viewing at the Kempton Watch House. Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmania News.
The dream is over for the Hobart Hurricanes after limping out of the Big Bash finals in a 57-run loss. Among the highlights, though, a special send-off by fans for George Bailey. Coach Adam Griffith concedes the Canes had to be more consistent throughout the season. The crowd had come to Hobart's Coliseum and the Lions inside were hungry.
Kawaja stranded. A strike would have had him.
But Kawaja and Alex Hale stayed intact.
He's got all of that.
Their damaging partnership would signal strife for the Hurricanes. James Faulkner brought it to an end, but the Thunder total kept rising. There would be some luck.
Oh, run out easy.
The mix-up among only a few flaws from the visitors, who set a target of 198 to win. Would we see another Wade wonder?
That's big. Big ball.
Sadly not. On just 14, he was gone. And the magic was too. Darcy Short out for 37.
Exactly what the Hurricanes did not need.
What they did need was something to smile about. Enter George Bailey.
Back over the bowler's head.
He would go out for the final time on 13, the face of Tasmanian cricket for so long, a final standing ovation from the crowd, respecting nearly 2 decades of service. There would be no white knight, the Hurricanes done and dusted for 140. Today, the coach was candid.
I think you see the teams that will end up playing at the business end have played some really good cricket for longer than us.
The season's post-mortem suggests inconsistency held the Canes back. Admissions also that big-name imports didn't live up to expectations.
Our overseas guys worked really hard this year, but we didn't get a lot of production there.
The season's surprise packet, Nathan Ellis, an 11th-hour recruit turned late overs closer. Rival clubs will no doubt be interested.
There will be, but they won't be getting him. He'll be staying right here.
The finals record remains bleak, 2 wins and 5 losses. The Big Bash Holy Grail still just out of reach. Tasmania has enjoyed another win at the National Indigenous Cricket Championships in Alice Springs. Callan Morse was the standout, scoring 71 for Tasmania as the side defeated South Australia by 27 runs. Brodie Hayes had a productive appearance, taking 2 for 2 in just 1 over with the ball. The state's final game against the Northern Territory is still in progress. Aussies Ivana Popovic and Madison Inglis are through to the semi-final of the Burnie International, while Lizette Cabrera and Abby Myers have been eliminated. In the men's draw, Alex Bolt's tournament has come to an end. The Aussie won the first set of his quarter-final clash against Britain's Jay Clark, but lost the next 2. Fellow countryman Jason Kubler advanced to tomorrow's semi-final. A Launceston mountain bike rider will be spending more time racing overseas this year. Sam Fox has been picked up by Team Marathon MTB, opening the door to national championships and World Cups. The 19-year-old will be the youngest of 4 riders on the team, and he says he's eager for the different types of racing he'll be doing throughout the season. The most prestigious title in Australian sprint cars is on the line tonight in Latrobe. 38 drivers are doing battle at the National Championship. Among them, 2 Tasmanians keen to cause an upset. They're the dirt track duo looking for a home crowd win, but don't expect any collusion out on the course.
There's no team orders, you just go.
Jason Redpath and Adam Alexander make up Team Penrite. Their machines boast 900 horsepower and weigh just 750 kilograms. That's a similar power-to-weight ratio to a Formula 1 car.
You can vary from 120 kilometres to 140 plus.
Right now, they're at Latrobe, racing at the Australian Sprint Car Championship. It's the first time the national title has been held in Tasmania in 7 years. Queensland's Andrew Shirley is down to defend the title he won last year.
You know, I've been doing it for 26 years now, so I've kind of been around the traps, and you've just got to go there with the expectation to do our best.
He's coming in a little worse for wear after crashing at a warm-up event in Warrnambool last week.
Unfortunately, got upside down in the final night there, so we've been over here for the last couple of days. Thought we were going to have a holiday, but we haven't. We've been on the side of the road rebuilding a race car.
If you can't make tonight's action, the Winged Warriors are back flying around Latrobe Speedway again tomorrow night.
Good evening. Hobart reached a high of 40 today, 36 at Launceston, Burnie 28 and Devonport 30. Other centres today 39 across Flinders Island and Grove, Lowhead 25, Ouse a high of 40 and 38 at Strawn. On the close-up, cloud is covering most of the state. Further out, cloud and thunderstorms over Northern Territory, South Australia, parts of Queensland and Tasmania, while middle and high cloud can also be seen streaming across southeast WA. Tomorrow shows a strong cold front crossing Tasmania and extending into the mainland, while surface troughs still dominate the weather on the mainland. West to northwesterly winds tomorrow 10 to 20 knots, increasing to 30 knots about the south. Swells up to 2 metres in the west and south and up to 1.5 metres in the east. On to the warnings, and a strong wind warning is current for southern and western coastal waters from Tasman Island to Sandy Cape. Tomorrow's forecast now, showers are easing across Hobart and Medina, 25 at Oatlands. In the north, 25 and rain is expected at Launceston, Devonport 23, Laiwini rain. Rain at Burnie tomorrow, Strawn showers easing, 21 at Marrawar. A high of 27 across St Helens and Swansea, Orford showers easing. The UV forecast mostly extreme 12s across the state. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast, Sunday early morning rain in the northeast, showers about the northwest and far south. Monday showers contracting to the southwest and southeast in the evening, and Tuesday fine apart from possible light showers about the southwest. Capital cities 29 and sunny tomorrow in Perth, Canberra 41 and Sydney a sunny 35. And currently Hobart 35 and rain, Launceston 30 and Devonport 23 and rain. And Joe, it's looking to be very hot and wet over the weekend.
And that is all from the news team for this Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you a bit later with updates. Bye for now.